My gosh. Should this have been, again, I'm questioning myself, should this have been the day that I filmed? Hey everyone, hi, welcome back to my channel. I'm Shelly, and today I'm going to be talking through all of my February reading plans, otherwise known as my February TBR, the to be read list. If you like books and reading and you want to join a conversation about that, I would encourage you to subscribe and stick around, because that's basically what I do on this channel. Talk about reading, what I'm reading, what I thought about my reading. Oh gosh, and all of that stuff. So let's just go ahead and get into the meat of this video. There are 3 books that I am currently reading right now as I film this in January that are going to carry over into February. Partly because, even though one book is quite short, it's partly because I do not want to rush through my reads. Oh wait, there are 4 books I'm reading that I don't think that I will finish in January. Let me go get that last book. All right, 4 books, my 4 books. One of which is quite short, but as I mentioned, I don't want to run through the book. I don't want to speed read through the book. I'm just taking it at its own pace. So anyways, I am currently reading, and I think that I'll just run through it, and maybe in my January wrap up, I'll give you my thoughts about these books. But for now, in this video, I'll just run through the books. Okay, the first book is Mary Renault's The Persian Boy. Now, this is the second book in the Alexander the Great series. It's a series that Mary Renault wrote about Alexander the Great. However, I had heard from Steve Donahue that you do not need to read the first book in order to read the second book. And I did try the first book on Kindle, and I just wanted to read the book that I owned instead of having to buy the Kindle version of the first book in the series. And so I trusted Steve's judgment, and indeed this book is going swimmingly. I am not lost in the least, and I am so glad that I just decided to make the choice to read the book that I owned, skipping the first book in the series, kind of a scandalous move for me, and I'm just so happy with this read so far. I'm about, 70 pages in. The next book that I am currently reading is a short one, but again, not into rushing these days, and it's Moist Sand and Gravel by Paul Muldoon. I am 40 pages into a little over 100 page book. I'm enjoying it. It took me a little while to get into the rhythm, but now that I'm in it, I'm enjoying it. I just don't get to it every day, and the poems that I get to, I enjoy thinking about and sort of letting it sink in before I dive into the next poem. And then the third book that I'm currently reading that I believe will carry over into February. I'm like, what month are we in? What day is it? Who knows? What is time? But it is Bone by Jeff Smith. Now, this thing is a chunkster. It's huge. It's 1,300 pages. It's larger than the traditional, it's wider and taller than the traditional novel. It's a huge thing. It's massive. I'm reading this on my Kindle. I'm reading it on the Kindle app on my iPad, and that is working out perfectly. It's really easy to read. It's really easy to transport here, there, and everywhere. I take it to my job. I read it at work when I'm on my break, and it's going really well. And I'm about halfway through this. I am about, gracious me. Should this have been one of the days where I don't sit down and talk to y'all? Okay, I am about halfway through, and I'm enjoying it so far. I said I was going to hold my thoughts until my wrap up, but maybe I'll give you more detailed thoughts there. But anyways, Bone by Jeff Smith. The final book I'm reading is a book that I'm listening to, and it is actually a public document. It's open to the public. As an American, as somebody living in the US, it is accessible to you for free on the US government website. I will leave it linked down below, and it is called the January 6th report. Now, this is the report that was put together by a special committee about the committee investigated what happened on January 6th and how we got there. And the January 6th that I am talking about is the insurrection that happened at the Capitol when a bunch of angry election deniers stormed the Capitol and tried to stop the transfer of power from happening. And so anyways, there was a report that came out, and what happens is that these publishing houses are getting, public intellectuals, writers, to write a beautiful introduction, and they're binding it up and then selling the bound up copy, like the hardcover, softcover copy, as a reading material. And I heard it was riveting reading. I heard this from Steve Donahue, who has already read the report. And I decided to listen to it. I thought it was really important for me to keep up on what's going on in the US, especially right now. Recent history, just a few years ago, and contextualizing what happened on January 6th. And I remember watching the news, as many of us did, or do remember. And I'm curious about what this report will have to say. But I also heard that it is riveting reading, that it is an incredible thriller, and that when you get really into the meat of what's happening, that it is powerful and interesting, and it's really important. And so this is my, call to action, even though I haven't finished the book, that if you are an American and you care about our democracy, not that this is the only way that you show that you care, but if you have an interest in this kind of thing, I would highly encourage you to read it. I'm through the introduction, I'm a few hours in, and it is really, really interesting and really well written. It's written for us to understand, for the person who maybe doesn't keep up super intensely, but has a modicum amount of interest in politics. It is written for us to understand, and so it's written in a way that is strangely riveting already, and I'm totally sucked in, and I'm excited to continue to listen to that. Okay, serious book over. Now going to my TBR. There are only 2 books on my TBR, which is probably good because I'm carrying so many books over. The first one is going to be a book that Sandy picked for her book club, the 1001 Book Club. This also crosses over with Scott, what was I saying? Scott at Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. This is one of his favorite books. It makes me very skeptical because Scott and I, we don't tend to agree, okay? Like Scott. I am not going to say which of us has taste, but, one of us does. So, anyways, we do overlap on some things. We most recently agreed on, we have the same opinion of the book Middlemarch by George Eliot. But anyways, so I am going to be reading A Fine Balance by Rohinton Mistry. Is that right? Mystery. Rohinton Mystery. I've heard really good things about the book. I honestly, I skipped through the description of the book because I want to go in blind. I really don't have any idea what this is about, but I've heard good things about it, and I hope this is a book that Scott and I can agree on. The next book is also with a book club because there are like 1,000 book clubs here on BookTube right now. Like, we have just exploded with book clubs. There's book clubs to the left of me, book clubs to the right of me. Everyone's running a book club. And I am joining in as many as I can, and this month that's 2. But, so I'm going to join the FOMO book club for Daphne du Maurier's Jamaica Inn. This is one of the books that I chose for my 23 classics in 2023, and I'm excited. I read Rebecca a couple of years ago now. I loved it, and I can't wait to get back to du Maurier's suspenseful, beautiful, intriguing writing. And if that hasn't kept me busy enough, I have a feeling that I might pick this up, but I don't know because I'm mood reading this year. So I don't really know where my mood will take me. But I know that Rachelle reads. Is that right? Hey, I'll leave her channel link down below, but Rachelle Reads, I believe, is doing like big books reading. I'm doing a terrible job explaining this, but she's reading large books, right, you know, for this year and hosting them on her channel. And I will leave her video link down below that explains it much better than I do. But she is picking up the Macchiaca Sisters, and I own that. And I have a feeling that I'll really want to pick it up as everyone else is reading it. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, that's it for me. So thank you so much for... What are you reading in February? What do you have planned for your TBR? What are your reading plans? Are they as full as mine? Are they as loosey-goosey as mine? Let me know. But yeah, that's it. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.